Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of our very tall Sicily campaign. Now, in today's episode, we really need to start wondering about what we're going to do to Rome. However, I think our first goal is to rebuild some manpower and actually deal with the Epirite question. Now, currently, Epirus is a tributary of ours. Oh, looks like we have an event. Incendiary Slave Speaks. I like the silver-tongued one. I'm going to lose some political influence. It'll be okay. Let's see, anything good here? I guess I could get some grain, but that's just going to be for myself. What about wood? I already have some wood, but getting some more, is that going to increase my surplus? Now, it says if I get this, each surplus will increase local tax by 3%. So, okay, I'll increase local tax by a little bit more. Alright, so the Epirite question, and what to do about Epirus. So Epirus is currently one of my tributaries. That is good. However, I am now ready for Epirus to stop paying me money, because they don't pay me a ton of money anyway. And instead, I mean, they pay me 0.94 ducats, that's not terrible, but instead of paying me money, help me out in wars, because I am looking to expand my influence into the Hellenistic regions, which means I need more troops. And how am I going to get more troops? Well, a good source of troops are the Epirites. After all, they have 35,000 men, plus those 32 cohorts is nice and strong. Very strong, actually. So, I think, since I already have a... Let's see, I already have a claim fabricated. If I just go ahead and just let my manpower tick up, I should eventually have enough men where I wouldn't worry too much about fighting a war in Epirus, especially if they are by themselves. There is also another war I would like to fight. I'm going to go ahead and yeah, that one works. I'm going to also say that I would like to fight these people. Let's go ahead and fabricate a claim. They only have one martial advance, which is good. And with only one martial advancement, we should outdo them tech-wise. Let's also just take a look at the size of their army. Their army is very small. However, here's where these people scare me. They have several allies and are in a defensive league. But in the end, this could be beneficial to us because we could hopefully separate piece out a bunch of the people that they are in these defensive leagues with. Of course, that means I think our first plan of action is going to be to attack the smaller countries. For instance, here, who are they? The Aetolians, which they are actually pretty well teched. Also, who are you? The Corkirans, and you have a couple other allies, right? Who are you? Where are they located? Oh, I just flat out cannot find them. They have 19 cohorts, that's quite a bit. Oh, you know what? They're up here. I'm unconcerned about them. They're too far away from the action to do much. I'm hoping to use a war with the Tolutantians to be a springboard into this region, eventually gaining more and more tributes, or feudatories depending on the culture. Speaking of that culture map mode, I have just one more province that's the majority culture of a different type. It's majority Carthaginian. Looks like we just have a lot of Carthaginian slaves here. I actually might, well, I don't want to move them because they are helping me get grain. I wish I could build more buildings here, but alas, I'm not able to do that at the moment. Tribute ceases, but not my tributary, so I'm not too worried about that. We're still gaining about 331 men per month. That's pretty good. We are fabricating our claim. We're 28% of the way there. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and declare that war when I get that chance. So let's go ahead and move my army towards my 2 megapoliremes. I think I would actually be okay smashing the fortress here. You are a port, yes. So I think I might use one of my megapoliremes to smash this fortress. That would just allow me to siege this province down a little faster. Effectively take them out of the war. The Roman question is a big one. How do we deal with Rome? They are relatively advanced. They have a very powerful ally in the Etruscans. And they have claims everywhere, including in Epirus. So if we declare war with Epirus, honestly, the Romans might too. In fact, it might be good just to go ahead and capture some of the Talutantian land, just in case. That way we could maybe use it as a staging area to invade Epirus when we do eventually turn them from a tributary into a feudatory. Don't want to trade away my grain quite yet. Let's look at some inventions. Fort defense up would be good. Assault ability would be helpful. Civic provincial investment costs down. That's good. Slaves needed for surplus down. National citizen output, though, I will take all day, every day, because that is going to get me some more tech. Help me advance a little bit faster. All of them are asking for grain. You know what? I will go ahead and trade some wood to the Etruscans. That's fine. I've noticed that this part of the Mediterranean looks like I've frozen up. Oh, it's because I have a new king. He is the new Basileus of Sicily, and he is actually pretty decent. He's a 12 martial, 5 finesse, 3 charisma, and 7 religious power. Unfortunately, our old emperor has died. So let's check out our new emperor. He's only 39 years old. He is married, right? Yes, he is. And he's got a fully grown son. Let's go ahead and arrange his son a marriage. Let's find someone a little bit more age appropriate. Let's see. You would be very good finesse-wise. Anyone good? You would be... Oh, you're 27. You're a little older than I would like for my 20-year-old son. I think I'm actually going to go with her. Splendid. Let the festivities begin. That's perfect. Oh, looks like we have a rebellion that might break out in 41 months. Alright, so let's think about what's going on in this rebellion. And it looks like while Epirus is not loyal, they are of our culture group and their 144 pops will not join. So, it looks like I just have those 2 down there at the very bottom of the list that are actually will join the rebellion. So let's see, who are they? The Balerians and the Elysians, are they you? Yes, so it looks like Sicily wants, or Sardinia wants to rebel, and I don't like that. I'm going to go ahead and improve opinion with them to see if that does anything. They still don't seem to like me. What's going... Oh, and it's also, if I increase my stability, it seems like that will help. Well, we'll just see what happens. Living in disloyal provinces or subjects. So it's because they are not in my culture group. Interesting. So we need to expand in our culture group, so we need to go ahead and declare that war. Looks like Rome wants some grain as well. I don't really want to give away my grain quite yet. I'm not super worried about any rebellion that these 2 provinces would have. I think we, or these 2 tributaries would have. I think we can handle it pretty well. And I definitely will want to handle it because they are a huge part of the reason why I'm getting 7.1 ducats per month. That is awesome. You also, of course, want grain. That's okay. We will just kind of have to keep a watchful eye out here. And this actually makes me not want to invade anywhere else, even though that will help me with that 19% threshold. They are living in disloyal provinces or subjects. Well, how do I fix that? Now, it's because you're not loyal to me? Of course, you're going to be loyal to yourself. You, of course, want my grain. Let's see. If anyone knows what I can do to maybe stop this rebellion or gives me some tips, I would gladly appreciate it in the comments. By the way, if you're already down there writing in the comments, might as well like and even subscribe if you haven't yet. We are having just a lot of fun seeing how tall we can make Sicily go, and I want as I mean, you know, I want everyone to enjoy it, so. Alright, looks like we have a warrior's honor. We can let the soldier have their due. You are fairly loyal and gaining loyalty per month. I think I'm just going to go ahead and let the soldiers have their due. It works. Looks like I have a lot of people wanting my grain. That's fine, but I don't want to give it to anyone. I'm going to keep letting my manpower reserves tick up. I think that is going to be beneficial in the long run. Let's go ahead and look at what we can maybe spend some of our money on, as well as maybe I need to start spending some political influence. I have 2 provinces. Right now they're all set on culture converting. I definitely want to keep the Sicanian province on culture converting, but let's actually go ahead and switch you to something maybe a little bit different. Civilization effort, that kind of seems like a waste. I'm very civilized at the moment. What about, what I think about religious conversion? 15 Canaanite pops. No, I'm going to pass on religious conversion. Instead, I think I'm just going to go with social mobility. Social mobility seems good. It helps my pops promote a little faster. Of course, there's no promoting happening in Syracuse right now. Let's see about here. No promoting. Alright, a little. Looks like we have a slave promoting into a freeman. It's going to be fine. Let's also go ahead and spend some of our money. I do actually have quite a bit of freemen here. I think I might. Oh. Looks like our king is becoming a little reckless. That's a shame. I'm actually going to build a training camp. Just get a little bit more manpower out of this city. That's good. 30 treasury. Still fine. Still have to worry about... Oh, looks like the rebellion has passed. I don't really know what happened. I guess... Oh, you know what? I just need to increase their opinion, don't I? Yeah, that's easy. I, of course, will have that negative 20 different culture group modifier. I guess I'll have that till the end of the game, but that recently declared war is going to dip down to kind of offset a lot of that, as well as the improved relations. Alright, so now that I don't have to worry about a war for any of my subject states, I'm going to go ahead and refocus my attention here. Let's see, I think I'm going to go ahead and declare war on you sooner rather than later. You do have quite the alliance system in place. However, I'm going to try to knock some of them out of the war fairly quickly. Of course, I will have to wait for just a little while my claim finishes fabricating. That's okay. It gives me a little bit more time to build up my reserves. Hopefully, when I declare war, look at all of my allies' soldiers just kind of chilling in Corsica and Sardinia. Hopefully, they will move over and assist me. They were actually remarkably efficient. I was very surprised that the AI did so well, moving men to Sardinia when I got into a big war here. I just saw the Carthaginian navy go by. I wonder where they're off to. Let's see if they're at war with anyone. Yes, they are. They're at war with several people. Who are they fighting? Oh, and it looks like they are trying to fight a little farther north in Iberia, take over some of this land, maybe kind of cordon it off from the rest of the barbarian tribes in Gaul, so that they can just kind of sweep in and take all of Iberia. That's going to be difficult to deal with if Carthage gets much stronger than they already are. They already have such a large and powerful navy compared to ours. Speaking of, let's go ahead and combine these 2 navies into one. Nope. Looks like we have a magistrate death. That's going to be alright. Let's see who that is. It's a researcher. Let's see who's a good researcher. You know what? Your loyalty's pretty low, though. Although if I hire you, you're going to become a little bit more loyal. Unfortunately, your loyalty's going to go down by 0.3 per month. I'm not going to worry about it too much. If it gets to be a problem, I can fix it. Let's see what is next. We're still just kind of waiting. We're very close. I'm going to go ahead and load these 24,000 men into ships and take them just off the coast of, who is it? Corcyra? I think Corcyra is going to be my first target here, and I'm just going to try to smash their fort, smash their army, basically evaporate them from this war before the war even really truly begins. I'm going to go ahead and march these 15,000 men over to Syracuse, because I know that they will be needed in the war effort soon. Also, Corcyra, taking Corcyra allows me to then march that army into Epirus, and then, of course, into the Talutantian lands. Looks like we can prepare a gift for the goddess. I think instead I'm just going to go ahead and say that we are thankful, get some additional omen power. And in 1 month, that should be done. Just in time for us to land our troops in Corkira. We do have an omen available to us. I think I'm going to keep on the manpower recovery speed. I think that is definitely worth doing. My army is at full maintenance. My fleet is at full maintenance. We are in a good position here. I'm going to go ahead and declare this war. Take Illyrian Gracia. So we're going to try to take the Illyrian coast. So we're immediately going to get into a naval fight. We easily win that. We had 64 ships after all. They only had 2. We have captured some of their men. We're going to go ahead and move in our army while this army is at low morale. They have nowhere to go. And it does look like we are going to easily take that battle. Perfect, perfect. Things are looking up for the Sicilians. I'm going to go ahead. I'm not too worried about any of their armies as of yet. I'm going to go ahead and come and try to ferry these 15,000 men here. Hopefully my feudatories will join the war effort and move some of their men over as well. It would be ideal if I could take on most of this fight without ever having to deal with any of their with most of their armies being dealt with by my feudatories. I do have an oratory advance. That's awesome. It's going to increase my civilization a little bit more, as well as help me with that aggressive expansion impact down 5%. That's going to be good because I'm going to start using that slave raid. Oh, also aggressive expansion change minus 2%. Speaking of, I'm going to go ahead and actually just smash their fortress first. Real quick, move my navy back to this position so that it can, with hopefully a fully functional megapolireme, yes, it should be able to, let's see, I think I'm just going to go ahead and destroy the fortress outright. There it is. Now their fortress should be gone, right? Unless I destroyed another fortress that I did not want to destroy. Either way, yeah, currently at 0. Alright, so I guess in 1 month it will be gone. I'm going to go ahead and move you back to here. I should think about maybe letting it rest in port. Yep, there it is. Look at all of those slaves that have made their way over to Sicily. That was perfect. And now these 24,000 men get to march onward into Apollonia. How do you say that? Apollonia. That's it, Apollonia, because it's after the Greek god Apollo. That would make a lot of sense. Let's see what my feudatory armies are doing. They seem to mostly be just kind of hanging around in Sardinia and Corsica. That's going to be fine. We're going to be okay. I do like having just some of their armies just kind of ready and willing, just in case, you know, some ships float through the blockade and anyone lands any troops on Sicily. There also would be extremely helpful if I was, you know, kind of backstabbed by the Carthaginians. Not super worried about the Carthaginians right now. The Carthaginians seem to be relatively focused on taking advantage of me when I'm super weak, and right now with even just the 18,000 men in my army, I actually am feeling pretty strong. Looks like I'm going to take on these 4,000 men. You know what? I think I need a new commander. And I think it should be my Emperor. You can, we'll give you control of this army. And my great and glorious General Emperor will not take control. Oh, I guess I probably have to wait a few months, don't I? For him to, like, kind of come back. Alright, so you will take the first battle in this fight. You very easily win. You've captured one of their generals. Good to go. Let's go ahead and think about who... Well, I don't really see a point in replacing you quite yet. Once again, we take a ton of slaves. I'm going to go ahead and maybe move you... Man, they are really forted up, aren't they? So they have a fort in Epidemos, a fort in each of these straits. Alright, I guess I'm going to go ahead and have you get ready to assault that fort. Although I'm starting to get a little more concerned. Also, I would love to put my Emperor in charge. Why can't I? 12 months have passed, so I can put him in charge in 1 year. Oh well. It'll take a little bit of time, but that's fine. Whoa! How in the world did they get 41 cohorts? I feel like just a minute ago they only had 9. Okay. Interesting. Not great for me. Let's see how many men they actually are fielding in their army, shall we? They have 40,000 archers. We outnumber them there. They have 7,000 chariots. Okay. So, we might have bit off more than we can chew here. We do have a lot more light infantry, and we should not be challenged on the high seas, which is going to give us an inherent advantage as well. But I am very concerned about how maybe they're... Oh, would you look at that? That would be why. They bought a ton of mercenaries, I bet. I'd bet you anything. Alright, well the question is, where are those mercenaries? And how much impact are they going to have in this fight? Our navy is taking on probably the majority of their navy. Their entire side's navy, so we'll just have to see how that does. Oh, actually it was just ships, so we lost 2 ships, unfortunately. They lost 4. We actually gained some ships, but we did lose one of those megapolyremes, so that was quite disastrous for us. We'll just have to build a couple more. We have apparently 6 in total on our whole side, so that's good. Oh, looks like someone wants to sue for peace. That must hit the wrong button. Let's go ahead and, do we think we'd win that fight? No. Let's see. 7 martial. We have 11 martial. They have... Yeah, I think we would actually win that fight. I'm going to go with it. We'll see what happens. We're probably going to take a lot of casualties, but we'll be okay. Now, you see, that's what I expected. I expected them to build a bunch... Oh my gosh, 71. Yeah, they are just... They are using that treasury of theirs, aren't they? Lots of mercenaries. Lots of mercenary maintenance. And I don't think that they're going to be bankrupted anytime soon. Let's see how much money they're making per month. Right now, they're losing 15 gold per month. So if we can hold out and keep this war going, we can definitely win if we can just bankrupt them. But to bankrupt them, we're going to have to hold out against some of their just insane mercenary spam. Are those some mercenaries? I guess maybe I could try to... Alright, you are not a mercenary. Right? You're also very loyal. I guess I could maybe try to buy some mercenaries myself, but I don't really want to do that. I'm going to fight some more pirates. Looks like I lost another 2 ships, but it looks like I actually gained more than I lost there. That's good. Oh, and unfortunately it does look like I'm probably going to lose this fight. Let's go ahead and just retreat you back to the seas. We did lose a few more men than I would have liked, but it's okay. We will land a better landing party there in the future. I'm actually going to go ahead and take these men to come here, just in case this army needs to retreat for whatever reason. Kind of do what I did when I was fighting Etruria, the Etruscans, earlier in this campaign, where I basically used the advantage that my navy gives me, where I can just kind of quickly move my men in and out of territories very quickly and allow that to give me an advantage on the battlefield. Speaking of advantages on the battlefield, we should have more inventions. I'm going to go ahead and actually buy this assault ability up. I want to go ahead and buy some military inventions because that's what I need the most right now. I would actually... No, I'm not going to assault that fort. I wouldn't mind assaulting some forts. Looks like some of my feudataries are getting involved. I'll go ahead and take that any day of the week. And for now, I'm actually going to use these 72 ships as kind of my eyes for my army. Just move it a little bit farther north, see if they are massing any, big resistance, especially mercenaries here. No, I don't see them. If I need to, I can still probably get out of Dodge pretty quick. And we've actually won the Siege of Epidemos. That is going to be huge for us. And so now we have to think about what we want to do. I'm actually going to go ahead and move... I'm going to move these 21,000 men, who are going to be very soon commanded by our our king, not our emperor. And I'm going to get them out of dodge. I'm going to let... No, I'm actually not. They are low morale. I could definitely take them. I'm going to have them sit right here and see if I can get them movement locked. They're movement locked. I'm going to come in, go for the kill. I'm going to move these 72,000 men in here. We will, I think, take a river crossing penalty, but that's going to be okay. I'll take the excellent national tax rate up. That's perfect. I'm not super worried. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and ensure that I win this by moving in a second army. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of these 24,000 men. Is that a mercenary army? Yeah, so they are mercenaries. So getting rid of some of the mercenaries early might be helpful. I would love to be able to buy them off, but I just don't have the gold for that. Let's see. I'm going to send... So I don't really want to release anyone. I'll send my researcher. And it's my religious advances, which means now you get to be the researcher. Congratulations. Unfortunately... Alright, so those mercenaries took a ton of damage, lost over 1,000 heavy infantry. Unfortunately, we are not going to stack wipe them, though. Going to go ahead and actually retreat both my armies from this province. Let's just give my feudatories a little bit more time to get their men in there. It seems like that's kind of happening, except I do have 35,000 of my men just kind of sitting in the mountains in Corsica right now. Or my feudatories' men sitting in the mountains in Corsica. I guess, well, I guess that's one thing to do. Can I embark 2 armies at the same time in here? Perfect, yes. Now I'm not done with this this island nation over here. I do want to knock them out of this war. So let's go ahead and try to do that, shall we? Move that way. I can buy another invention. Let's actually take a look what I can get. Heavy infantry discipline up is not anything that I necessarily am worried about. They are going to really start to push a lot of their troops into the Illyria and Gracia. That's fine. I expected that. They are hopefully going to eventually run out of money, although they currently just have such a large treasury that that's going to be quite some time from now. It's the mercenary maintenance that really hurts them. It's the mercenary maintenance that's really hurting them. Because those 77 cohorts is crazy. Like, we can't stand up to that right now. In fact, it makes me think maybe it would be fine to, if I could, white peace. Or just go ahead and sue for peace from some of these smaller countries. For instance, Corca can become a feudatory of Sicily right now. That works for me. And I would love it if I could just make the Aetolians do the same. Looks like they're going to move their army out. Probably they're going to go and siege down Corca, because now Corca is probably in this war, right? No, they are not. Well, then, in that case, let's just put on my kind of light sieging army. Is there a fort here? There is actually not a fort here. Gain some popularity. Is this the only province they own? Yes, it is. So we'll just capture that, see if we can piece that out. Eventually they'll force us to white peace if we can't take this whole province. Taking that whole province might be a stretch at this point, considering just how many men they have, more than us. Although they are losing quite a sum every single month. So if we can just keep this war going for a little while, we should be in decent shape. Can I sue for peace from you? Become a feudatory? Yep. Cool, so already this has kind of worked out. I do, unfortunately, have to call it quits here. I have a couple people coming over tonight and need to go ahead and get ready for that. But I feel pretty good about where we are. This war is going to be a little more difficult than I thought. That huge treasury they had is quite the obstacle for us. They were able to just buy a ton of mercenaries, and that is kind of where we are stuck. We're able to piece out 2 of their smaller allies and turn them into feudatories. We might want to go ahead and think about doing that with some of the other countries that we're at war with. For instance, maybe the Dalmatians? Oh, they are at war with quite... Oh, that's all us. So I wonder... Can't force them into a peace until the 1st of June, 540. So we'll see. I would love it if we could force them into some kind of feudatory or at least a tributary type peace deal. Of course, we're still going to try to get them to be our tributaries, but we're going to need to bankrupt them first because we cannot stand up to those 77 cohorts. Either way, this is where I'm going to have to call it quits. I hope you've had a good day. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed making it. I've been Ben the Bold. You have been you, and I will see you on the next one.